Right, John. Go on.
Yeah, so my sister, she suffered really bad from the doctor described it as grieving because all of a
I
sudden
don't really have to sit with John. Go on,
she'd
mate. You
lost
sit in the middle, John. Sit in the
she,
middle. I'll
she,
sit aside.
she'd
Talk.
lost
Yeah.
she'd lost all access to her
Should have danced me off
her
that.
first nephew,
Right.
and it really played on her mind. When my ex gave me access the first time round, I don't know, in the back of my mind, I kind of thought to myself, this is too good to be true. So when all of a sudden she stopped access again, it was just like I was almost mentally ready for it. I knew it was coming, so it still affected me. I wouldn't say it didn't affect me. Of course, it affected me. Like people always used to, all people say to you, just try not to think about it. But like when it's your child, you can't just switch off from that. It's mentally impossible. You cannot like it's like you. I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is I think about the children. Go to sleep at night, just thinking about the children. Even when I'm at work and I'm trying to concentrate at work, I start thinking about the children. It's just not something that you can just go, I'm not going to think about that today. Um, yeah, so
Just keep talking,
it's
John, about how you feel and everything. Just keep going, mate, all the time. Come
so yeah, like mentally, it affected my parents. It upset my mum, it upset my dad, my brother. With me, I mean, I even had a welfare check from the police one day. I was with my friends and I had a phone call saying, "Oh, we want to do a welfare check on you because we've heard that you're not doing very well," and I was a bit shocked by that. Um, and they'd heard through the grapevine that some of the locals that my ex knew were saying that they wanted to come after me and they wanted to get their hands on me and all things like that. When I spoke to the police, they said that they couldn't actually help me because it was heard through the grapevine. Um, and so I tried to get like help a few times through the police, but for some reason they could never help me. There was always something like a loophole. Oh well, they're not breaking the law. They're not this. But then all of a sudden, I'm finding that my ex could ring up the police. I've got two different times. There was last September. I was with my friend Jeff, and I got a phone call from the police saying we'd like to talk to you. And where am I? And I said, well, I was in Prestwood at the time, our friends. And they said, we just want to have a chat. So they turned up and I walked out the front door. They put me in cuffs and they did me for coercive abuse and sexual abuse. My ex had claimed that's what I'd been doing to her. They took me to the station. It was very late at night, 11 o'clock at night. I was there till about 5, 6 in the morning. I got interviewed. All charges were dropped, no evidence, so I walked out of that one. Literally on the 24th of this year, I was driving down the road. I hadn't seen my kids for about 10 to 11 weeks. So when I drove down the road and I saw them, I thought, oh wow, there's my kids, it's my opportunity. Because I'd never seen them before that. So I jumped out the car, I ran over, I said, hello kids. I got a bit of abuse. You're not allowed to effing see the kids, da 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 da. I then walked back towards my
Why
door.
wasn't you out to see the kids? Is this for the court,
This no no no. There was no order out
She's
there.
saying this.
This is what my ex is saying. She's claimed that a solicitor has told her I can't see the kids.
Okay.
So I asked her, who is this solicitor? I want them to speak to me. I want to know why.
Speak to the camera.
They wouldn't. There was. I'm still waiting to hear from the solicitor, but it's now changed that social services are saying that I'm not allowed to see the kids. Again, I haven't heard from a social worker. I haven't heard from a solicitor. This is all like and also the other thing that got me was there's no solicitor out there that can just do that. That can just turn around and say you can't see the kids. It has to go through a court. It has to go in front of a judge for that to happen.
Tell me something, right? Your wife's going to take you to court, yeah? Or your girlfriend's going to take you to court, yes?
Well, no, it'd be me taking her to court to get access to my
Right.
kids.
So, what stops you now seeing your kids? Is what, social?
No, there's no one. But my fear is that if I try and approach my kids, the last time I did that, I ended up on bail for a month. I ended up with stalking charges put against me.
Right.
Just because I pulled over to say hello to my kids, I was then not allowed to go to certain areas of Wickham because I was being labelled as a stalker. They had my phone for 6 weeks. They went through my phone. They checked every message. They checked everything, like to see if I've been contacting anyone in the local area saying, um, is my ex going to be here? Where's she going to be at this time? Like, that's the things they were looking for. Obviously, none of this was true. Again, a month I was on bail. I went into the police station, and they dropped the charges. They said there's no evidence. That's the second. I mean, I know dads that have had like 3 or 4 false allegations put against their name over the past couple of years. It's like, and it's all every time they try to go to see their kids, the police are then arresting them, and I can see why dads end up giving up
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
because it's a fear thing.
Yeah.
I see a police car pull up outside my house now. I'm thinking, like, what have I done? Like, what's she saying now? It could just be because they're going to the neighbours or just pulling over quickly. But like, literally, I fear for myself. Like, all the false accusations. I mean, the one where these people were going around saying that I was a paedophile. That is a very dangerous thing to go around
Go
telling
and
people.
say, yeah, for sure, mate. Yeah.
Because like, I could be walking down the road one day
And
and
get
then
bashed across everyone. And yeah,
Get
get
bashed
stabbed
over
up,
the head,
mate.
yeah.
For sure.
because someone could take that story and think,
It's real.
there is no one out there
Yeah.
that likes a paedophile.
Yeah.
There was no one out there.
Yeah.
A thief, people go, oh, well, maybe they were struggling, they could get away with people. You still like, certain criminals, like, you don't like, you might not like them, but you're not going to be like, oh, they're that bad.
Yeah.
Paedophile is like
Definitely
the worst
catfish.
The
thing
worst, yeah,
that you can possibly do. And any paedophile, is going to get caught up with someone.
So explain to me, John, so what, you've been in touch with a solicitor?
I tried to speak to a solicitor.
So tell me how much it would cost you to get the court.
I've spoken to a lot of dads, even a few mums that have gone through what I'm going through, funny enough. But I'm being told, I mean, there was one person said that 70k they put into the court thing. There's one guy I'm speaking to at the minute, he's called Rich. He's told me that something about 25k he spent over 3 years and he still hasn't seen his kids and it's still ongoing. So he could still have another 3 years. So that's 50k in 6 years. And then obviously you've got to pay that all back, or you've got to get the money to pay for that. I mean, so basically what happens is we go to court, we pay out 25 grand, we then get told we can't see the kids, and then we're in 25 grand debt.
That's unbelievable. That's mad.
And then they wonder why suicide's up. They wonder why more
Well,
drugs are being taken.
lots of people on my podcast know that I've done 26 and a half years in prison, yeah? I've seen so much in prison, but 75% of people that are in prison for murder is domestic.
Mm.
Is domestic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is domestic over the kids. People not seeing their kids, and the fathers can't take it. So this guy, I mean, there's still even women in women's prisons. Maybe 25% of murders in women's prisons are domestic about kids.
Yeah.
Where the wife, she can't, I don't really get on the thing because do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, 75% domestic over kids. Men not seeing their kids, and they go so far to the top that they kill their wives.
Yeah.
Because they can't see the kids. Now the kids ain't got a mum. Now the kids ain't got a dad. Then they're put in foster home. Yeah. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be. It's got to be dealt with the right way.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other problem that I'm finding is, like I said, I think I said it before. There is no support out there for men. We literally get like, so 1 minute you're a dad, and then all of a sudden you're a backseat parent
because she doesn't like you.
And then there's a brick wall in front of you, so you can't get to your kids. You can't see what they're doing. You literally get cut off completely. Like, you've got no contact with them whatsoever. If you're lucky, I'm kind of lucky because I'm in contact with my son's school and they send me photos every week, so I actually get to see my son at school.
Crazy.
But like, that's it. That's all I get. I mean, sometimes them photos are quite upsetting because I can look at a photo, I can get one of them photos for one day, and it can make a very good day turn into a very bad day just because I get so upset because I just want to see my son so much. But
tell me about your ex-wife. Tell me about your ex-girlfriend. Tell me.
My ex partner.
What's she like? Tell me.
I mean, my ex partner, we were best friends before we got together. She's had quite a bad, crazy life. I'm not going to lie about that. She's been through a lot. She's not well. She's just suffered from mental health. She's also got a few other like issues, like health issues. Like yeah, you know, we were best mates. I used to do a lot for her even before we were together. Um, and I don't know. I just like it. Just I can't explain it with her. It just turned sour, and it's.
Is it mental health that made her sour?
I think I believe a big part of this is her mental health. I believe that. Yeah. I don't think this is all. I don't think this is like the stuff she's done. You'd have to be put.
So where it's hard, where I can see it, but where it's hard to go to see a doctor to find out the issue of your girlfriend, yeah,
Yeah.
right, and the issue comes back that she can't see her kids, then she can't see her kids. You can't see the kids because she doesn't think you're safe to see the kids. They don't think you're safe to see the kids.
Mm.
All of a sudden, the kids then put in a home. So where's it end?
Well, that's it. I mean, once a child goes into a home, it's not easy to get them out at all. It's like it is. Yeah, it is a nightmare. That's it. Once they're in, they're in. It's not like you can just go and say, can I have my child back? They have to do all this paperwork. They have to do all these assessments on you, drug tests, alcohol tests. If you've got that stuff in your past, I mean, if you've got any kind of conviction, you don't stand a chance of getting your child back.
Exactly.
But I mean, social services. I mean, on that hand, the reason they adopt children is because they get 10 grand bonus per child. So obviously, a social worker sees a child as money. It's like, I'll get 10 grand for that one, 10 grand for that one, 10 grand for that one. So you think they put 4 kids away a year? It's a lot of money
for sure.
It's a bonus. They get £1,000 added to their wages every month.
So tell me how you feel. So how are you going to feel about, like, obviously, so when you go to court, yeah, they're going to have your court record there.
Yeah.
You're going to have the mental health record there.
Yeah.
Her mental health record. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you think it's going to go because of that?
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, with these false accusations, I know that there was no evidence and stuff like that, but the fact that I've been arrested for that stuff, when it's been looked on in court, like, they can still use that as a bad thing, that these accusations were put forward against you, even though the charges weren't there. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, social services, if they wanted to, could probably step in and take the kids, as far as I'm concerned.
For sure.
Like, I mean, I've got no previous apart from, I mean, the last time I got arrested, so I got arrested this April and last September. Before that was back in 2008 in October at a party. So that's how often I get arrested. I don't.
What about your wife or your girlfriend?
Again, she's not got a criminal past.
Do you know what? I can see why you're talking about your girlfriend. You still love her a lot, don't you?
No.
You got feelings for her, John?
No,
not at all.
No, not after, not with everything that's been going on recently. Yeah. I try. I don't want to think about it, to be honest with you. It's, you know what I mean. Like, I've even said it to a few of my mates. Like, relationship at the moment, I don't think I want to be in a relationship. Like, because of all this stuff that I've been through, I don't know if I could trust again. I put my all into that relationship. I kept them kids out of care. Like I said, me and my family made sure that both them kids had everything. I mean, we were living in a house and it was costing us £10 a day for electric in the winter because it was storage heaters. And my parents were putting that money onto the heater for us to make sure that them kids were warm. If we didn't have my parents, we would have struggled. Yeah, so yeah, that's that. I mean, it's been an absolute nightmare past.
So you get in touch with a solicitor.
Yeah.
It costs you 25 grand just to get in court, yeah?
It's right. You've got to fill out a form called a C100.
Okay.
And you've got to send that in with 250 quid, and that gets you a court date. But court date can come up, and then they can basically, what they do is they send you a court date, and then literally 3 days before they can send you, like, ring you up and say it's cancelled. My mate has been waiting about 22 months to see his kids.
What, same thing?
And the court paperwork comes through. He goes, yes. 3 days before the court thing, it's cancelled. And then he sat there waiting and waiting. And it seems to be happening a lot as well. Like they just seem to they get your hopes up and then they knock it down. And obviously, when they knock your hopes down, after with everything you're going through, your mental health just collapses again. Like literally, so you go from like the top to the bottom very quickly. Um, yeah, I mean, it's another thing that I've been looking into a lot is like the rise in suicide because of all this, because of dads not being able to see their kids.
Tell us about
Um,
that, Jojo.
yeah, you know, there's just like a lot more dads out there now, like taking drugs, drinking, going down the bad route. I mean, with me, like I said, I was lucky I had that farm, but I could imagine if you're sat in a flat by yourself with nothing to do, no children around you, and there's a bottle of whiskey, you're going to go, oh, I might as well take my mind off it. But obviously, that doesn't help you. And then once you're on that path, it's incredibly hard to get off it. It's not something that you can just go, oh, I'm going to give up now. Certain things are more addictive than others. But yeah,
So how far you got? How far you got with this now? How far you got with it?
with the court stuff.
Yeah, the courts.
Well, I basically filled the paperwork out, and then I got ready to send it in, and then I started speaking to people, and everyone's going to me, "Oh, I've had to pay 25 grand. I've had to pay."
Yeah, but
30.
it's not about other people. It's about you, John.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
Listen to what they have to say, mate.
But no, but I mean, these
Yeah.
are very close mates of mine. And once people started telling me about the money that I need to get this into court, that's when it completely put me off it. I was like, there's got to be a better way, because I can't afford 25 grand. I was unemployed looking after my kids for 6 years. So I've got no money. So I'd have to then borrow money. You know, some people said, what about your parents? Well, I can't ask my parents for 25 grand. Like it's not like pocket change. Yeah, so court, I mean, if I had the money, I'd go to court.
Do you know when in 1976, yeah, there was a recession, and the guys that come in prison were normal people. They just went out to do armed robberies to get money for their kids,
Yeah,
so the kids could eat,
yeah,
right, and the kids could sleep properly and be warm, yeah. And put that, and then they'd bang them up for 10 years because it was an armed robbery charge. And it's similar to what you're going on with. That you've got to get that money to get your kids back.
yeah.
So
yeah.
how do you get the money to get your kids
this
back?
is the problem that is
Come sit here.
discussed.
Come sit here, please.
No,
Now,
you can hear me though. Like the problem is that, like
you
he said,
you're here, sit here now because
it's
you
like
can't
he,
hear. Come,
it's
come.
like he said that.
By the way, this
when
is Mark, Bob. I'll call it Mimi. Yeah.
This is the problem. Like you said, even if you do get the money, it doesn't go anywhere. You know, there's no changes in the circumstances in regards to the fathers, and this is the problem that fathers are having in the United Kingdom. They put themselves in debt. They're willing to do that even sometimes. But then, like you said, he's had experience. I've got friends that's had experiences that, you know, one of my friends put 25,000, and it went on for like 2 years, nothing.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Still today in 2022, he can't see about 3 of his kids, and it's not fair, is it? You know, and you know, listening to you talking about also, you know, the fear also that dads have, because you want to see your kids, you can't reach out and knock on the door because then you get accusations, you get the police showing up. So where do we go from here, you know? And I think it's great what you're doing in regards to making this movement. I support it definitely, and I'm sure a lot of people that are hearing this podcast today will support it also. You know, there's fathers out there that you guys' voice has been suppressed.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you fairly said, there's no support from the professionals, which is a concerning matter that needs to be erased and needs to be looked into. You know, it's shocking when I was sitting there listening to you talk about fathers that, you know, they get so close to the court date and then 3 days later
it's cancelled. Yeah,
it's cancelled.
It's soul destroying.
And then it's mentally going back down that cycle.
Yeah,
you know, it's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything you want to ask him, maybe?
Well, you've asked most of the questions, but I think what was the last question I wanted to ask? I can't think on the top of my head right now, but I think everything has really been
Anything
addressed.
else you want to say to the cameras about it? Come on, anyone, just talk to it.
I think that there definitely needs to be more support. I think that the police, like, I mean, for instance, when I got arrested back in April the 3rd, and then obviously I did my bail, I did my thing, and they had no evidence. When I left that police station, the person behind the desk should have at least said, talk to these people or something. There must be something out there, like they need to advertise things. There is things out there, but like I said, you've got to know people that know these things, and not everyone does, unfortunately. So it's like you sort of hit a dead end with it all, and that is.
Where would you go? Where would you go for help? Where would you go?
Literally over the past few days, a friend of mine has contacted me and told me that she is working for a charity called the Gingerbread Foundation, which supports single parents and alienated parents. Again, a friend of mine told me this.
Have you got the address for that, John?
Well, it's an up and coming thing,
Yeah.
so she's going to be setting up a Facebook page very soon.
Oh, good, yeah.
And once that's done, I'll obviously send over the link to you, Ray, and
Please,
be advertising
yeah.
it. And I think that this is something. I mean, it's great. When my friend told me that, I was just like, because she said that she's going to help me try and see my kids.
So what, and then more? I mean, how long has this been going on for? How long have kids not been able to see their dads?
It's been going years.
It's been going on years, and there's never any help.
No,
No one
Nothing.
puts no help for you. You know
No.
what I mean? It's like it's terrible, man. It's shocking.
Yeah.
You know.
we just literally have to sit in silence, us dads. This is the problem.
Well, you don't have to sit in silence because what
Right.
happens? They want you to sit in prison, mate.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what happens. They want you to sit in prison,
yeah.
so you don't see your kids. So
Or-
mentally,
Or have a mental breakdown
But
where they
same
can
thing, no?
fairly say, well,
Yes.
they're not good enough now, are
Yes.
they? You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. I mean, like, we're all different in our minds. We're all different mentally strong, but you know, I luckily I managed to pull myself away from
Fair
like
play to you,
really
John.
bad mental health. I mean, I've got my first bad anxiety because of this. Never had it before in my life, and then one day I kept waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, felt like I was having a heart attack. My chest thumping. Yeah, I just managed to sort of like take my mind off it. Like, got myself a job, started working.
What I want you to do is tell the people out there, yeah, if there's anybody out there that can help you in any way to get in contact, give them your number and everything, or whatever you're going to do, get in contact with me or whatever. Talk to them, John.
Yeah, if there's anyone out there that does know any charities or organisations that would help single dads, if you
You've got an
give me links.
organisation yourself, yeah.
Yeah, we've got Fathers Have Rights too. That's well, it's Nathaniel Diamond's movement. He's the guy that made the documentary. Like I said earlier, it comes out tomorrow, Father's Day. Yeah, if you check out the channel on YouTube. Yeah, so if there's anyone out there that's got any knows any charities, organisations for support, I mean, I know a lot of dads out there that need it. I know, I can get these other dads to come forward and get help. But like I said, we need to know who these people are. We need to know who these charities are. We need to know who these.
You need to walk. You need to go down the street with petitions. And this is what's got to be done.
Yeah.
Petitions have got to go. You've got to get, ask people to phone you, or
Yeah.
to go from my channel or your channel. You've all got to meet and go for a walk, mate.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got to walk. Banners a lot. There's plenty of fathers out there, as you say.
There's a
could be
lot more
million
people want to do
out
that.
Yeah.
My mate Nathaniel that put Fathers Have Rights 2 together. He originally wanted to do a big walkthrough.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Downing Street and all that, but yeah, it sort of like, I think he found it hard to actually get followers. It wasn't spreading, which is one of the reasons why he's done this documentary, which is now it is spreading. I mean, we had like 3,000 views on the documentary, just the trailer, in 2 days.
You know what it is, don't you? Do you know why it don't
Yeah.
spread? Because fathers are just like what you just said, get sick of it.
Yeah.
They ain't going nowhere. They just give up. What's the point?
Yeah,
Well, this is what that was my
Yeah.
question I wanted to
Oh, go on,
ask
go on.
actually. Like, what would you say to fathers that are listening right now, that are going through what you're going through, like other men? What kind of encouragement would you give them at this time? Like, even knowing the experiences that you've had, the highs and the lows, with the emotional side of things and stuff. Like,
It's a hard one. That, I mean, like, all I can say is stay strong. Try and keep your head down. Try not to get in trouble. That is the main one. Talk about these things, friends, family. I mean, if it gets too much for you with mental health, go to the mental health team. I mean, I'm desperately trying to get things put together. I'm trying to find these foundations and charities so that people like us can get the support we need. I'm trying to change this law. I'm trying to change how the system is because it needs to be changed. Like literally, it's ridiculous. I don't want my son to grow up and have this happen to him. Basically, I want it changed for the next generation. That's how I'm seeing it. So
you want your son to have a dad.
Yeah, exactly.
To have a dad to take him out to enjoy himself.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, all children, they need dads as well.
More so.
Absolutely, and that's what I wanted to say also about what would you say to mums that are putting dads through this like unfairly? Good fathers that do love their kids. Before relationships got spoiled, they could see what a good father.
Do you know one of the most frightening things that happens, don't you? That mums, right?
Yeah.
Got 2 kids, 3 kids, 1 kid, or whatever. Pull away from their partner. Won't let them see the kids. They go out and enjoy themselves. They meet a man. That man then comes back to their house and he becomes a paedophile. How do you know that that's what frightens me, mate? That's more frightening than enough. That the person they bring back to the house could be a paedophile.
Yeah.
He could be a child molester. And them kids at that age will be able to honour one. So this is what a law should come. This is terrible, mate.
Well, it goes back to children. They need their parents. They need a mother and they need a father.
The right ones, the right parents.
Unfortunately, as we see in the UK, men are not dealt with fairly in regards to their position as a father in the household. And what kind of words would we say to these women? What would you say to mothers that are putting men like yourself and your friends through these experiences?
I mean, it needs to stop. I mean, it's not just like affects the dads. I believe it affects the children mentally.
Of course it does.
I mean, I know a lot of other dads that have said that their child was stopped from seeing them. When they did eventually see their child was calling them by their first name, not dad, because they didn't know who the person was. I mean, that's sad. Your son or your daughter is calling you John or Ray because they just think that's who you are. You're just a normal man.
Exactly.
They shouldn't be thinking like that. They should know that you're a dad. And these other parents out there that are alienated, they need to stop this now because it's damaging the kids. It's damaging the next generation.
Absolutely.
Like relationships nowadays, they don't last. Like my parents have been married 50 years. Yeah, like that generation, they always made their relationships last. Nowadays, it's just like you don't fix nothing. Yeah, if it's broken, you chuck it away. That's how it is. That's the generation we live in, and that's just in life. Relationships, no one sticks to them. Like literally,
there's too much. That's why, John.
Yeah.
There's too much about nowadays, mate. You got all these big shopping centres. Women just do what they want to do now. They don't want one thing.
I think that's a sad factor is that the mothers that do put men through this, don't they think about the children, and the effect that it has on that little child, because it's going to emotionally affect that child. It's going to affect their whole growing, you know what I mean?
But kids go to school, don't they? And they play football and this, that and the other, and then dad goes and watches the kid playing football, and that little kid ain't got a dad. That dad's not there to watch him play football.
I think one of the worst things is if that child grows up to think dad didn't love him. Or
Mum might say that
dad
anyway.
wasn't there
That's
for
what
me.
Mum says.
The reality is because of the mothers that are preventing that relationship.
Yeah, but that's what happens, John. Tell them that's what happens.
No, that's what happens. All of a sudden, the child thinks that dad doesn't love, dad's gone away, didn't want anything to do with
it. Yeah, for sure.
It was not like that at all. 90% of the time, that dad was probably trying to knock on that door every other day just to say hello to the kids and was told to F off, stay away,
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they go and knock on the door, and the next thing, they go home, police knocking on their door, you've been aggressive outside this address, and then they get arrested.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. I said this on a Facebook status a little while ago. I said I can fully see why dads give up now.
Yeah.
Because of the what we go through. What it gets too much.
That's why I'm saying about the walk. Dads give up.
Yeah.
Dads give up. What's the point?
Yeah.
I've done everything I can possibly do.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've done everything I can possibly do, and I'm still without my child, my kids. What good's the walk gonna do?
Yeah.
That's how they think.
Yeah.
And so their mum wins. The courts win.
Yeah.
The courts are about earning money, mate. Solicitors earning money, barristers earning money, police earning money, welfare earning money. It's all about kids.
Yeah, that was the sad thing. When I was trying to get access to my kids, I'd been in contact with the police because of a welfare check for me. I've been in contact with social services, and I can't remember who else. I'd spoken to someone else, and all they said to me, all them people, was take it to court. You've got to take it to court if you want to see your kids. And so then when I looked into it, the court, I spoke to a solicitor. I got 45 minutes free talk with a solicitor. And she was talking away for 40 minutes, telling me,
No sense.
I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do that.
What's all in on?
Then all of a sudden, she goes to me when there's 5 minutes left. She says to me, oh, by the way, after this 5 minutes, if we carry on talking, you've got to pay me £175 an hour. And then I was like, oh, what? Like literally, that's like ridiculous. I felt like I need to go and become a solicitor, sort of thing, because like that sort of money, like how can anyone charge that? Anyway, so then I looked into it, and then I was like I said, I started speaking to other parents, and they're telling me one parent said 70k they paid out in solicitor fees and court fees, and yeah, okay, they got access to their kids in the end, but 70k. They're like literally they're in debt up to their eyeballs. Like these people, like I said again, it goes back to suicide, goes back to alcohol, drug taking. You get in all this debt, you end up giving up on yourself. Yeah, and then once you go into drug taking and like things like
give
that,
up, mate. You just give up.
That's it.
You're not going to get the kids anyway. Are you?
Yeah, you're not going to get the kids anyway. Exactly. So it swings. It's a real sticky situation, because literally no matter which way you take it, no matter which path you go, you are literally going to come to a dead end at one point, and things are going to get too much for you.
You see what happens. The worst thing, mate, as I just said, mum meets a guy comes around, gets mum on drugs.
Yeah, I know.
Gets mum on drugs. Also, mum's on drugs. She can't look after the kids. Dad's already gone off his nut. He doesn't know what to do. He's drinking, taking drugs. Now, Dad's taking drugs. Mum's taking drugs. The kids took away from them, and it's what's the end result? Neither parent have got the kids.
Yeah, and then normally, then what happens is one of the parent or both of the parents end up dying at a young age through drugs.
Yeah.
Because obviously, once the kids go, I've seen it. I know a lot of people that have had their kids taken off them, because we're in a day and age where, like I said, it's all about money. So social services are taking kids away because they're making money from it. They don't do it for any other reason. Like I know kids that have been left in people's care and they should not have had it, but then I know people that have had kids taken off them and they should have kept their kids. Because, like, say for instance, maybe the person that shouldn't have had the kids had a big support network, but the person that should have had the kids didn't have a family and a support network. So social services can then come in and then go, right, we can't get that one because they've got a lot of backup, but this one here, they ain't got no one. We can take them kids and there's no one going to back them up.
Exactly.
And that's what happens.
Exactly. Go on, keep talking to the cameras.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, like I said, but we live in a society where it's all about money, and you need money to access everything, including your children. So you basically, you come out of a relationship with whoever, you lose your children.
You need a charity organisation. You need people to help you. You need people to come across with anything, John.
Yeah, there's got to be, there must be people out there that can contact me through Ray, or even you can find me on my Facebook. John Dugani on Facebook. Look me up, and if there's any organisations, like, because obviously me and Nathaniel, we're trying to do something. We're trying to change things here, and I want to be able to, like, if someone comes forward to me and says I need help, I would like to be able to say, contact this charity, contact that charity, do this, do that. People ask me for help, and I'm like, I'm in the same boat as you, mate. I don't know who to ask for help either. I'm literally.
You see what I'm going to try and do now. I'm going to try and get on a couple of mates who've got big channels, big ones, podcasts. Going to get them to talk to you. I'm going to get them to do a live with you, a live channel, not like this, a live one. This is live, but talking to people on the channel. They're going to phone in. You'll be talking to them people,
Okay.
Right, that sort of thing, a live one, so you can talk to them people, they can phone up and say, but everyone that talks to you, 9 times out of 10, they might put £1, they might put a 10, they might put a £5, so, you know.
Well, this is it, bringing awareness. And
so all of a sudden, you get 2,000 people all putting £2, £10, and you've got maybe 50, 100, that's the sort of money you're going to get.
Yeah.
You need that. That's their charity. The live, you need them to look after you. People to look after you, John.
Well, Nathaniel Diamond actually come up with a bit of an idea about maybe helping out dads with GoFundMe pages.
Yeah, well, whatever you think was Talk to this. Talk to the.
But yeah, so that was another thing. Like Nathaniel did say about getting a GoFundMe page for dads. I mean, it is possible. I mean, I don't know. These GoFundMe pages do work, but I don't know. But like I said, we just need support. We need charities. We need someone to come and help us dads.
Well, I'm going to say this, John. I know for a fact, right, that every bit of money you earn on your paint and decorating goes into the pot, and it's to get your kids out, mate. Isn't it?
Yeah, well,
You don't spend nothing, do you, John, on
yeah.
yourself?
Well, obviously I've got to live. I've
Yeah.
got to pay my bills and stuff like that. But at the moment, I've been out of work for 6 years. I've just gone back into work now. I mean, I'm just getting all used to it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I mean, I will get this to court. It's not. It's such a hard process.
Well, is it now because you're on the channel, and I'm going to get you on other channels, and people are going to help you out, John. People are going to help you,
I
mate.
think, yeah,
Yeah, definitely,
reach
100%.
out.
Yeah, of course.
Reach
A
out.
big shout, mate. People are going to help you out. People are going to look after you, John.
Appreciate that.
100%.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, like I said, it's just really difficult. It's the court process. It's
That's not
so long-winded, and it's just like,
Ooh.
yeah, it's just all about waiting, and it's all about money. If you don't have money, like, there's no point of going to court, because you need a solicitor. If you go into, this is what I was told, if you go into a courtroom without a solicitor to do with the children, and you go up against the mother, she's probably got legal aid, she's probably got a free solicitor.
She would have, yeah.
So then what happens is then you stand in court and you get questioned by a solicitor who knows what they're talking about. You don't, you get ripped apart. That's how it works. This is why people are saying whatever you do, that you can go and represent yourself, but I know a lot of cases where it's gone sour, very sour, and it's not a very good idea to do that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I don't really know what else.
That's about it,
That's
John.
it, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
come sit here, please, young lady, and tell what it is. And don't say you do it. Right, go on, John. Get there, sit there, because she's the
It's
one.
alright. No, so
to
guys,
chat.
obviously you've heard this discussion. It's been a good, deep discussion. It's about the awareness of fathers that don't have the rights to see their kids for no reason. The government's not fair, and we want people to reach out. If your father's out there that going through the same thing, reach out. And yeah, let's start a movement and yeah, bring
Well,
awareness.
tell them the movement, John.
Please go to YouTube and type in "Fathers Have Rights Too." Like I said, that's the documentary is going to be out on that tomorrow. We've just had some rappers actually done a track for us. Really good track actually. If you can find that on YouTube, or if you go onto Facebook and look for Nathaniel Diamond or John Dugani, that's me and Nathaniel. And then like you can find our videos and stuff on there, like the trailer for the documentary, the hip hop video. So and also, if anyone ever needs just to talk, find me on Facebook and contact me, inbox me, and I will talk to you and offer as much support as I possibly can. Obviously, I am in the same boat. I can only really just talk to you and give you bits of advice. But I try my hardest to help you. So please don't feel shy or anything like. Just contact me. Let's talk.
Lovely, John. Sit over there, mate. Let's have a quick word. Let's have a quick word with these people, John. Go on, sit over there, boy. Yeah. Yeah, this is right. This is Ray Bang Hill. Yeah, look, this guy needs help. Yeah, he needs a lot of help. There's a lot of people out there going for the same thing. There could be 1 million people going for the same thing. Yeah, he needs help. The people who are watching my channel, I've got what, maybe 4,500, 5,000 people, maybe 50,000 people who watch my channel. Yeah, I want you to show me that you want to help this guy. Yeah, it's easy to help. Just get in contact with me. Right, give me some sort of support. What you'd like me to get hold of John? I'll get hold of John. John will come back here. I want to do a live, yeah. So you can ask John questions, yeah. Do a nice live. Anyway, this is Ray Bang Hill. Please like and subscribe, and please help John out. Thanks very much. Have a nice day, yeah, and a nice night and a nice evening or whatever it is. Yeah, bye.